One punch. That's all it took. One perfect left hook, and an unbeatable legend crashed to the canvas. How does someone who looked invincible fall this hard? Roy Jones. Before the speed, before the fame, before the highlight reels, there was fear. Roy grew up under one man's shadow, his father. Roy Jones Sr. wasn't just strict, he was ruthless. He believed greatness came through suffering. No softness, no excuses, no mercy. Training wasn't training, it was war. Every mistake came with punishment. Every weakness got exposed. Roy once described his childhood like living with a predator. Imagine trying to impress the man you fear most. That was Roy's reality. Every day, every round, every second. And that pressure created something dangerous, a fighter with impossible reflexes, but also a man who learned love had to be earned through perfection, and that would shape everything. But the pain that built Roy would eventually haunt him. Then boxing witnessed something almost unfair. Roy Jones wasn't just winning, he was humiliating elite fighters. Hands down, leaning back, throwing combinations no one could read. He broke every boxing rule, and somehow that made him unstoppable. He moved like a glitch in reality. Opponents trained for months only to look helpless in minutes. People weren't asking who could beat Roy, they were asking if anyone could even touch him. Then came the Olympic robbery. 1988 Summer Olympics, Roy dominated. Everyone watching knew it. Commentators knew it. Fans knew it. Even his opponent knew it. But the decision? Stolen. One of the most infamous robberies in boxing history. Roy left without gold, but he gained something else. Rage, fuel, and the obsession to prove no judge would ever decide his destiny again. That hunger turned him into a monster, and soon he'd chase something nearly impossible. Roy had already conquered divisions, but then he did something insane. He moved up to heavyweight, against bigger men, stronger men, naturally heavier men. People doubted him. They said the magic would disappear. They were wrong. Against John Ruiz, Roy made history. He became champion at heavyweight. A man who started at middleweight, now king among giants. It felt unreal. Roy had done it. He had climbed higher than almost anyone thought possible. This should have been the perfect ending, the perfect legacy. But greatness has a cost, and Roy was about to pay for it. This is where everything changed, and almost nobody saw it coming. After heavyweight, Roy wanted to go back down, fast. He dropped massive weight, rapidly, violently. That decision may have destroyed him. The explosiveness faded, the reflexes slowed, just slightly. But for Roy Jones, slightly was everything. His style depended on being faster than human reaction. A tiny drop in speed, catastrophic. The king was still dangerous, but something was gone. And then came the fight that exposed it. Antonio Tarver wanted revenge. He believed Roy had escaped the first fight. The rematch felt personal. The tension was brutal. Then it happened. Second round, a left hand, perfect, violent, devastating. Roy crashed to the canvas, out cold. The impossible had happened. Roy Jones was human, and boxing smelled blood. Soon after, Glenn Johnson delivered another brutal knockout. 2 devastating losses, back to back. The aura was gone. The invincibility vanished. And if stories like this hit hard, that's why people stay obsessed with combat sports. Not just for greatness, but for the moment greatness breaks. Roy kept fighting, maybe too long, much too long. and every fight after felt like watching a legend wrestle with time itself. This is what makes Roy Jones so fascinating. Was he flawed? Yes. Did he stay too long? Absolutely. But at his peak, Roy Jones might be the most gifted boxer ever. Not the most disciplined, not the most technical, the most gifted. Speed, reflexes, instinct, pure talent at a level that felt supernatural. He wasn't fighting by textbook rules. He was rewriting them in real time. And maybe that's the tragedy. Roy's greatness relied on gifts no human could keep forever. Once they faded, so did the magic. But legends aren't remembered only for how they fall. They're remembered for what they made us feel. And Roy Jones made boxing feel impossible, like physics stopped working, like greatness could become art. And maybe that's his true legacy. Not perfection, not dominance, but proof that for one brief era, a man existed who looked untouchable. Because some fighters win titles, some become champions, but only a few become myths.